welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a really exciting foundation first impression. It is the new Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. And I've been hearing a lot of hype about this on YouTube, so I'm really excited to test this out for you guys. I'm going to do it the same way I do all my foundation first impressions. So I'm going to wear it throughout the day and periodically check in to just show you how it's wearing on my skin. I guessed at my color online. I did buy this off of beautyjoint.com. I'm not sure where else you can get this in Canada. I know they have Milani at the Superstore, but I don't have one near me to see if they even carry this foundation. So I did have to order mine online, and I got the shade 03 Light Beige. So as soon as it said 2-in-1 foundation and concealer, it reminded me of my Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation, which is a 2-in-1 as well, foundation and concealer. So that's what really got me excited. Currently, that's my favorite foundation I've been loving wearing. So if this is a more affordable version of that, I'm down for it. So I'm super excited to try it, as you can tell. This is a 1 fluid ounce, so it's your standard amount of product for a foundation, and it was around $10, I believe. So this probably going to be a little bit too dark for me right now because I did purchase it in mind of the warmer months coming up, and I would probably be having some color on my skin. And I washed off all my self-tan last night. So that was kind of bad on my part, but I'm still going to try and test this out. If the foundation is a little too dark, just keep that in mind. I'm not going to hold that against it. I just want to really test the wear. And I heard this also oxidizes, so I want to see how bad that does that. Sometimes oxidization is a deal breaker for me. I'm really hoping it doesn't do that, but I'm going to go into more about the foundation. I'm going to read its claims after I put it on my skin, but we're just going to jump right in and test this out on my skin. So as usual, I'm going to prime one side of my face, and I'm going to use the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Pore Refining Primer. Usually I like to use a beauty blender, but I'm going to test out a brush as well. So I'm using a beauty blender and one of the new Wet n Wild brushes. I'm doing a whole review on these right now as well, so I'm testing all that line out. But we're going to use it right now for the first time, so I'm excited for this too. So this is what the foundation looks like. Has a pump. Haven't even used this yet. And as I said, the color looks a little dark in here, so we're just going to have to make it work, even though I'm my natural skin tone right now. So that's what one pump looks like. It's pretty thick. You can see it's not going anywhere. So I'm just going to use the brush on this side. The color actually isn't too dark on me. I think we'll be able to make it work. Still could have used for a little bit lighter, but I do really like how it applies with the brush so far. So we still have half the product left. I'm going to do the other side, and then I'm going to see how buildable it is. You can tell because the Beauty Blender is damp, it shears out the foundation slightly. So if you want a more full coverage look, always go for a brush. So you can definitely tell there's a difference between the application. Though I do really like how it looks with the Beauty Blender as well. Definitely a shade dark, but the undertone is pretty good. So we're just gonna make it work. I think it looks equally as good with the Beauty Blender side and the brush. So just depends on your preference. I do think the Beauty Blender would eat up a little bit more product to get you to the coverage you want. So if you want a more full coverage, I just go in with the brush right away unless you really like the Beauty Blender like I do. But they both look really good just with that one layer. I like how it looks. So it says it's a medium to full coverage. Definitely got a medium, almost full coverage just off of the one first layer. But we're going to try and build it up and see how buildable it is. I'm just going to go in on my Beauty Blender because I already have it and build it up. I love how it looks right now. It really does remind me of the Clinique one. It looks really good on the skin. I'm really impressed so far. If it wears well, I'm definitely going to pick up a lighter shade and maybe even a darker one. I love it so much so far. Yeah, definitely buildable, looks really good. So that's building up that one side. Love how it looks with the Beauty Blender. We're going to finish off this side though. Even though I have the primer on this side of my face, I feel like this one looks a little bit more poreless. Just because of the Beauty Blender, I find it just really pushes the product into the skin. So if you do like using a brush, maybe go in afterwards just with the Beauty Blender to kind of press it in. So I probably would just go in. Yeah, that already looks a lot better. And just kind of press it into my skin with the Beauty Blender. I do have dry skin, so adding that little bit of moisture always helps products sit better on my skin. So that's why I always use a Beauty Blender, but I do like both methods. And if you want a full coverage and use less product, go in with a brush. Maybe use a Beauty Blender after like I'm doing if you have the same issue as me. But I'm just going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup. Then I'm going to come back and talk a little bit more about the foundation. And then I'm just going to go about my day and see how it wears. So I am back. I just finished a full face of makeup. And I love how it looks on my skin right now. Both sides, I don't see a difference. So far, it has not oxidized at all. I actually think it's a pretty good match for my skin right now, even though I have no self-tan on. At first I thought it was a little bit dark, but once I put everything together, it seems like it's a pretty good match. It might be slightly dark, but I think I can make it work. So far, love how it looks. Right now at this point in time, I would 100% repurchase, not even knowing the wear of it, just because it looks so good. It looks like my skin, surprising how it's a full coverage. Really reminds me of the Clinique one. I would like to compare them side by side because it really does remind me of it. It actually reminds me a lot of how my Maybelline Matte and Poreless looks on my skin as well, but maybe slightly more skin-like and not as matte. So I actually prefer that, and I've been loving my Maybelline one too. So if you like those foundations like I do, right now I think you would really like it, but obviously I want to test out the wear. So far, medium to full coverage, definitely lightweight for sure, oil-free formula, long wearing, water resistant, and sweat proof. So far so good. This gives a big thumbs up from me. I'm just going to test and see if there's any flashback. I don't think there will be, but we're going to just check that out. I do feel like it does have a slight flashback actually. So I just ate my words. There definitely is some flashback to this, so just keep that in mind. It doesn't bother me though, because I just would know not to use this if I'm taking a ton of pictures. But I love how it looks in person, so that does not deter me from purchasing this so far. So I'm just going to go ahead and go about my day, and I'll check back in a couple hours to see how it is wearing. Hey guys, so I am back to do an update on this foundation. This has been on a little over 9 hours, I'd say now. I can't remember the exact time, but I know for sure at least 9. So 100% hands down would recommend this foundation. I think it did oxidize slightly on me throughout the day. It didn't after an hour, but it did maybe around the 3-hour mark. I thought the color changed slightly, and it definitely performed a lot better on the prime side. This side basically looks like I just applied it. This one, I'm having a little bit of the oils in my skin peek through and break it up. As you could see, I think it was the 7-hour mark. Around my nose, it started to break up slightly, but overall, this has held up really great. So if you like medium to full coverage foundations, if you like foundations similar to the ones that I have mentioned or have used in the past that I really like, you'd 100% like this foundation. I really recommend it. And it was only around $10 US. I got it from Beauty Joint. Hands down, recommend this foundation. It's definitely going to be a new favorite. And I have to pick up a couple new shades of it because I love it that much. A lot of expectations for this foundation, and it actually exceeded my expectations. Just with how it looks right now at the end of the day, it still looks pretty flawless. There's only minor issues that I'm facing. Very, very minor compared to other foundations. It's actually one of the best I've tried for a foundation first impression, if not the best. That's saying a lot, and it's a drugstore foundation, so super affordable. Definitely recommend. And I hope you like this foundation first impression and review. As always, I'm going to continue to use this foundation, make sure it doesn't break me out or anything like that, and I will update in the description box if I have any updates on this foundation, or if anything changes. Obviously I'll let you guys know, but right now 100% would recommend. Definitely go out and buy this, you won't regret it, and it's only $10, so super affordable. Highly recommend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one.